Okay, grade 5 science. We're talking about water, getting the water back. Water, when we have it, if we heat it, it evaporates and disappears into the air and we can't see it. But then when it cools down, it forms droplets, especially on cold surfaces, and we can now recover it again. So, steam. Steam is water vapor in the air which has been created by boiling water. Write 4 examples of where you can see steam. Why must you be careful to not touch steam? Well, that's reasonably obvious, isn't it? Boiling water is extremely hot and will burn you if you put your hand in it. Not just in the water, but even in the vapor in the air. If you get too close to the end of the spout of a kettle, even where there's a little bit where you can't even see the steam, that is hot enough to burn you instantly. So, answer these questions about evaporation. Page 34. Right. Read all of this and then you're ready to answer these questions. So you've got a word bank. These are the words: sun, evaporation, river, sea, condensation, rain and clouds. So you are going to draw the words in the correct places on this picture that show the water cycle. So water in the sea. The sun heats it, it gets hot, it goes up into the clouds, it goes across the sky, and then over land it rains, and then it lands on the high ground, and then runs down and into the river, and then the river goes into the sea, and it's back to where it started. That is called the water cycle. Put these words into the correct places, please. Now, complete this paragraph using the words in the word bank. That's this word bank at the bottom. Evaporate, rain, sun, water vapor, water cycle, clouds, water, and oceans. Now, when you're doing this, it's important that you make sure that you have a word that fits correctly in all of these places. So read the sentences and make sure that you have a good word to put in each place. If you find by the time you get to the end that you haven't got a good word, that means you made a mistake on one of the other ones. So you need to go back and look again until you've got a correct answer in every space using these words. Now, air almost always contains some water. That's why it feels hot and humid after it's been raining, because the air is actually wet. You can't see it, but it's wet. But how you can see that water that's in the air is by putting something cold into the atmosphere. So if you have a water bottle and it's got cold water inside, then condensation, the water from the air, will land on the bottle and become visible as little water droplets. Okay, so that water is coming out of the air. Now, read this, and then page 37. We have places and the countries they're in, and then the rainfall amount per year. 0.8 millimeters. That's this size, tiny amount of rain. So dry, nothing grows pretty much there. And then you have other places which have huge amounts of water. A place called Lauro in Colombia has 13,300 millimeters of water. That's 13 meters. Right? Teacher Philip's nearly 2 meters high, so that's water that's 6 times the amount of how high Teacher Philip is. So, list the 3 driest places in the table. What's the name of the wettest place in the table? Read this. Read that and answer that. Now, more about dry and damp air. Read all of this. Read this and answer the questions, please. When you've done that, that's the end of what we're doing in the textbook today. Okay, so this is a way of collecting water. This is how water is collected in places where it's very dry and there's no water, where it's deserts. If they can get water and it's got, like seawater, it's got salt in it, you use this method on a big scale to get pure drinking water. These are instructions. You can try this at home if you like. You get a bowl and you put some water in, then you put a saucer in upside down to create a little mountain in the middle. Then you stand a glass on top of that. Now you cover the bowl with a plastic bag. Then you place a small weight, a stone, in the middle so that the plastic goes down a little bit. Now, leave this in a place where the temperature goes up and down, where the sun sometimes is on it and sometimes it's not, and see what happens over 1 or 2 days. And what will happen is that the water will evaporate from outside here, it will go up, it will cool on the plastic, and then it will drip into the glass. Page 26. Right, you're not going to do this, but you can look at what's been done in the book, and then you've got things to understand. You can read all of this, and then write your own ideas there. Read this, follow the instructions, and write your answers here. Write your answers here. That's it for today. That's the end of science.